All right, Nick. Top 9. Out west. Here we are, battling for our lives. It's been a unique game. Got back from the Little League Park late tonight and found ourselves in a position where I didn't see Hunter's first inning. I did get to see his second inning, and therefore the remaining part of the basically the rest of the game. I don't know. It just feels like one of those gross nights, if we're being honest. But you know what's funny? If they can find a way to get a couple little hits here and maybe steal this thing, we'll all go to sleep just unbelievably happy, and we'll forget about literally the last 8 innings.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those nights. Man, Reds hit some balls hard. Facing really good pitchers in their home ballpark that don't walk anyone. It's tough sledding. It doesn't get easier tomorrow either.
No. This guy's dotting pitches right now, too.
Yeah. This is not their... Munoz is the guy that's like their closer listed on the depth chart, but they don't go completely by the book, so they did switch it.
I feel like I got a couple moans and groans, and people make fun of me when I said I just wanted to get one win out here. And here we are. I don't think they've played horrible either. Like, that's the thing. I really don't think they've played horrible. They just... Unfortunately, I think they've just been outplayed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they played a lot worse in the Brewers series, and I think in those 2 losses than they played the last 2 nights.
I know, but they all count the same. Their losses are losses.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It's just frustrating that it continues to be like just small things. This is a good at bat right now. I like this battle.
Yeah, it's foul off like 46 pitches. That would be like that. The Mariners have that coming.
No. I think you're probably ahead of me, but I thought he was going to ring him up on a ball that was low.
Yeah, I'm a little bit ahead of you. I can pause it after this. There you go. All right. I just saw a 3-2 fouled off. I'll wait for the...
All right. I got 3-2. 3-2, the wind, the pitch, fouled straight back. Ball in hand. Close up of Will Benson.
All right, I got to pause at 10 when you get to the pitch clock. It's going to start at like 13.
It's 3-2, 13, 12, 11, 10.
All right,
9.
We're in business.
All right, find a way. Find a way, Will.
We've gotten good at that.
We have. Correct. That's something that's that's big time right there. That's a big time at bat. Listen, I mean, Martini was a big at bat too. I mean, like I don't want that to go unnoticed. I'm sure that we'll talk about it, but that was a really good at bat by him, man. Good swing. Come on, CES, just get lucky and run into one.
I'm gonna put him on page 2 so we don't forget, because I agree that should be talked about. CES, I mean, also had a home run.
No, yeah, he had some good
every other day of the season.
I know, but you know. Come on, just get into one. Hit one 500 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, he got fisted. Yeah. Dude, that's amazing that he can hit a ball that far. Like that, genuinely. I can't believe that ball went that far. Like, that was all over his hands. Didn't even get his hands extended at all. Probably damn near broke his bat, and he flies out 375 feet. He was late, though. He was late. This is Spencer Steer. What a big league hitter.
He got robbed, too.
Mm-hmm. Almost overran that ball, though.
Yeah, Steer has 3 hard hit balls tonight.
Also, not a good game for your take about center fielders not being a big deal the very next night, just so you know.
Well, I meant to say this last night. Great American Ballpark is a lot different than this
is
ballpark.
True. All right,
so.
That's fair. All right.
When you play 81 games at Great American Ballpark, your center fielder is even less important.
Oh. Seemed like a good one to try to go on. Let's face it, this guy's good. And let's also face the fact that getting a good swing off of him is not going to be a walk in the park.
He was with the Rays.
Dude, just everybody in this league throws 99 miles an hour anymore.
Yeah, he's a guy that had a great year last year, but like has struggled with command a lot. Last year was like the first year he kind of put it together. I'd like to see some of those command rear its head here.
Is that? No. Overrun it. Oh, man, he almost dropped it.
Man.
It hit it high. Too high. That's what they said in the major leagues. Too high. Well, this would be a villain story.
Yeah. I need it, Jake.
Come on. I just want to be on time on one of these 99-mile-an-hour fastballs and get lucky. Be on time for that fastball. Please. No. Yeah, this dude, umpire's been pretty decent, man. Like, I know he's missed a couple of these that are like really close, but the fact that he called that a strike and it's supposedly dotted the zone is pretty impressive. It looked low. That is if that damn strike zone's right. Oh. That's what I mean, listen, are you supposed to hit those? No. Those are 98-mile-an-hour fastballs that are just middle almost. That was a little away. Crowd comes to their feet. I like my Reds fan back there. He's still in it though. You see him? He's fighting a good fight. He's fighting a good fight. I like that guy.
Elite coat too.
It was. That's a great jacket.
Yeah.
That's a Sparky jacket, man. That guy spent good money on that.
Yeah.
Or he had it for 60 years. Either one. Not sure which.
Both.
What a foul off, by the way. I'd throw that splitter again if I were him. There's no chance I'm throwing Fraley a fastball. Oh, my God, he's throwing. Ball. All right, we're fighting. Can't say this team doesn't fight. No, get there. Get there. Yes, safe. Please tell me he didn't tag him.
Fraley's hustle, man. That guy. Well, the only time he didn't hustle was earlier in the game.
I didn't see that. Did he tag him?
No, they're challenging. Well, I mean,
it feels like he tagged him though. Like in my real time, it looked like he might have nicked his foot, not the base, but the foot. He got him. He's out. I think he's out. No, he's not. He's safe.
Hey, this is just one of those situations where you're just challenging, you know.
Yeah, you're challenge. Yeah, you got one in the bag. Might as well give it a shot. But did it get him? I think he's safe. He's safe.
If that's not call stands.
Yeah, he's safe. We're all good here. He's safe. Chat, he's safe. We all can relax here. He's safe. Better question is this kid okay? He kind of dove. He kind of dove pretty hard there. I love how they just go to the replay review center with like just from random people in a dark room. I mean,
It is very dark.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it helps the visual.
Definitely helps the visual, yeah. I mean, I don't blame them. They have a hard enough time seeing them there. With all due respect, I hope this review takes 20 minutes. He's safe. His heel's touching the bag. I don't think he touched him there. I don't think he touched him on the knee. He touched him on the foot, right?
Unless there's another angle we're not seeing, there's no way it's conclusive. You move along.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. No, he never got that. He got the back knee, not the first knee. He's safe. This is easy.
Nothing even. This is ridiculous. There's nothing even.
All right.
Yeah, there's nothing even remotely close. That shouldn't have even taken that long. Let's move along.
I agree.
Although I do like getting in maybe.
Well, to be fair to the MLB Replay Center, it looked like there was one poor bastard in there, and there was like 9 games on. See, is that person just they just home? Yeah, they just running around like, oh, we need you over here, Jim. Call stands. And that's what happens. You know, we're a couple Starbucks guys. You know, when the line gets super long, the quality control on those drinks goes down the toilet real quick. You're just like, oh yeah, 2 shots. How many pumps is this? All right, 3 pumps it is.
Foam my ass.
Yeah. You want extra foam? Okay. Oh, come on. Boy, I'll tell you what, this would be great. He's not going to throw him fastballs, is he? Ball 1. Who's on deck? Did I know that? Who's on deck?
Martini.
All right. Don't look at the game day. Don't look at the game day. That's going to be way ahead.
I haven't. I have StatCast. StatCast doesn't operate.
What a bitch.
Specifically, don't put up game day.
This dude's throwing the ball. He's trying to throw the ball right down the middle, and he's just throwing pitches wherever they go. Just happens to be right on the black. Are we allowed to get lucky? Outside. Good take, Elliot. Good at bat so far.
Good take.
Come on. 1 pitch, 1 spot, Nick. Like,
yeah,
middle in fastball. You better ready to rip. If not,
Greene is light because they got a lefty up next. Greene light him. Ellie, just take your biggest hack you've ever taken. I'll live with it.
Just literally, please. Middle in fastball, just looking to just hit 400 feet. Please, Ellie. Nope, that's in. That's in. Don't you do it. Let's go. What are you worried about a lefty for? This is good. You think they're going to bring in? Do you think they're going to bring in somebody?
Yeah, I think so. And I think Reds will bring in.
Yeah.
Stevenson?
Yeah, I think you have to. I hate to say that.
And then you still have Bubba that you could bring in to play the outfield if this,
Stevenson's going to hit. There's no
way he's going to let a lefty.
No, Stevenson's going to hit.
Who's the lefty? Saucedo?
Can Tyler Stevenson get a base hit 1 time for me?
We're due for a little bloop single.
Oh, man. Likes, people. Please. We need all of them. When we need all of them, we need all of them.
Tyler Saucedo, the lefty. 2.84 ERA. Pretty good numbers. Had struggled with command a little bit last year. Walked over 4 batters per 9.
Who's after Stevenson? Who's after Stevenson? Don't say
Santiago Espinal.
Oh.
And I think you're out of. Well, they still have Candelario, but he was scratched.
Maybe it's
what
Candy.
Was Candelario scratched for?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would rather Candelario be the guy. I think you won this spot.
It has to be Candelario if he's actually healthy.
With an illness, they didn't even say what
illness.
The illness is.
Come on, man. This is modern America. We take some Can we get some medicine? What kind of illness are we talking about? Dude got the cold? Seriously. I want to know how sick he is. The dude, Michael Jordan played with the flu.
He got some fish.
Basketball. He played basketball with the flu, man. You can't walk up there and just hit one time. This dude's a big old monster. Oh, Tyler, please don't roll and pound this. Don't pound a baseball into the ground. That's all I ask. If he hits a fly ball, I will not be mad. Okay? That's the deal. But if he pounds that's not a strike. Son of a motherfucker. My God! Come on, man. Lock it in.
Pathetic.
Just don't pound the ball into the floor. It's just not. That's not even an optical illusion either. The ball's outside and it's staying outside. It's not like the ball cut across the plate. I just bragged about this guy. God. Tyler, you deserve this, kid. Come on, you deserve this.
5 hard hit balls on Sunday.
Please. Oh, that was the pitch, and he pounds it in the ground. That was a good changeup, wasn't it? What was that pitch? Splitter?
I'm not looking at game day.
Don't look. Don't look. You can't look. I was hoping I hope they popped it up on the
Nah, Bally's not ever on top of anything.
All right. These camera angles are legit, though. Whoever's got the mind, I'd love to see.
They share some with Seattle.
They do. Well, they share the TV feed, the camera feed. But all right, Tyler.
Yeah,
come
Seattle
on,
has like one of those cameras that goes across.
The fact that he's even considering swing at that 1.5 foot outside. 3-1. I want everybody to know that would be 3-1 right now.
Yeah.
Come on, Tyler. Nope.
Get your fly ball.
I did get my fly ball. I said I wasn't going to complain. I just said I wasn't going to complain if he lifted the baseball. So you know what? I have to be a man of my word. Oh my God. This is the grit. This is where you got to have grit. Got to be tough. We got to do a show, guys. I got to do a show. Why can't I just want nice things once. All right, guys. We got a show to do. I got the short intro for you because I can't do the long one tonight.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the wall, Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Line to the right field. Junior, the first run ever, with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Does it have a chance? The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
All right, Nick, we got another late night edition of Chatterbox Reds, another unfortunate losing edition as well. Reds fall 3-1 to the Seattle Mariners. For the second straight day, they find themselves on the losing end. They're going to have to find a way to get a win on getaway day, or else they're going to give back the sweep they just obtained in Chicago tomorrow to the hands of the Mariners. Nick, there's a good amount of things to talk about. I really do think that. I think that there's actually some substance to this show. I think that there's ultimately, when you get to do a show every single night, there are nights, Nick, where I think you just try to stretch. You get yourself in spots where you're trying to dig out some type of content. I don't think tonight's the night. I think tonight, we got some stuff to talk about. We'll obviously get into all that and more in just a moment. But first, as always, we have the box score recap, which things got interesting late, Nick, but kind of run us through, I guess, the beginning up until the very end as far as you can get.
All right, I won't go into too much detail because I'll re-record this for the podcast, and I assume anyone up at 12:30 probably watched the majority of this game. But Hunter Greene went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, walked 3, struck out 8, took 98 pitches to get through the 4 innings. Really battled through as his pitch count, kind of skyrocketed, but did make some big pitches to get some big outs. Reds tied it up in the 5th when Spencer Steer singled. Jake Friedl had a fielder's choice. Ellie De La Cruz singled. Ellie stole second, and then Stuart Fairchild had an RBI ground out. Pagan came in the 5th. He ended up walking in a run. Justin Wilson was able to get him out of the jam, but then Wilson struggled in the 6th. Fernando Cruz came in. He gave up a run to make it 3-1 Seattle. Julio Rodriguez, he really broke the Reds' hearts in the 7th inning. First, he robbed Spencer Steer of extra bases. Really incredible job tracking down a deep fly ball. Reds tried to get a 2-out rally cooking. Jake Friedl walked. That finally got the Seattle pitcher Logan Gilbert out of the game, who was just incredible tonight. That was actually the Reds' first walk of the entire series to that point. Ellie De La Cruz, he walked off of the Seattle relief ace. He's not technically their closer, but he's their top reliever, Andres Munoz. Nick Martini came in to pinch hit. He smoked the ball to center field. Looked like it was going to be a 3-2 game, but Ellie De La Cruz got thrown out at third base. And Jake Fraley, maybe not hustling all the way home, did not score. Game stayed 3-1. Reds made a valiant effort in the top of the 9th. They loaded the bases, but Tyler Stevenson, a flyout to end the game. Reds fall 3-1. Reds now 9-8 on the season. Seattle Mariners, they get their first series win of 2024.
All right, we have a deep drive of the day, sponsored by DSC, Deep South Commodities. And, what the hell? We got Spencer Steer and CES flying out of 388 feet. This is why people get pissed. I'm not even, you know what, John? I'm sorry, but tonight I can't do it. I'm not doing it. We're not doing it tonight. We're not doing it tonight. Tonight's not the night. I'm not doing it tonight. I'm not doing it. That's a part that is what the older generation talks about, participation trophies. You know what? If we can't drive a ball deep, you don't get a deep drive of the game. Okay, you don't get one. I'm so tired of hearing about these exit velocities and how we got 7 hard hit balls tonight. They only got 2. Ooh, we should have won the game. That's not how baseball works. I don't give a shit how hard you hit the ball. You got to get a hit. Hit it as high as you want. Hit it as hard on the ground as you want. Who cares? 388 feet. Yeah, that'll be out at your old local softball league. It's not out in the big leagues. So congratulations on your flyouts. There's a lot going on today. I stayed up late 2 nights in a row, and I've watched absolute piss poor stuff happen time and time again, and I'm so sick and tired of it. I'm ready to go. I'm legit. I'm going to look up therapists tomorrow, and I'm going to possibly get a few numbers. I'm not going to call them yet. I'm not going to go yet, but I'm going to start inquiring about a couple of places that I can go if we make one more out at third base. Okay, if we do that one more time, I'm going to go see one. All right, that's number 1. And number 2 is if we want to sit here and keep yelling about pitching and yelling about defense and we score 1 run. 1 run. 1 run. You can't win many baseball games by scoring 1 run. All right, we got a show to do. And first and foremost, we should do Hunter Greene. Hunter Greene, he threw 265 pitches. That's what X.com told me. He got through 4 innings of work. And then David Bell went to him in the dugout and said, hey, brother, you can't throw 700 pitches and expect me to keep you in after 4 innings. And he's like, no, I want to stay in. I think I can get to 300. And unfortunately, David Bell didn't allow him to do that, probably because David Bell would like to see Hunter Greene stay healthy for the rest of the year. And you know what? I'm going to say something positive. Hunter Greene's still healthy. Hunter Greene's still healthy, and I like that. Nick, I'll kind of give you the floor here. You can kind of calm the room. Everybody can relax a little bit now. But your overall thoughts, I guess, of not just maybe the 30,000 feet view of the game, maybe some takeaways, but more importantly, Hunter Greene.
Yeah, I mean, look, you'd like to see Hunter be able to get you a little more than 4 innings, but the 4 innings that he gave you tonight, he battled as hard as he possibly could through them. Got to give credit to the Mariners. They did it to Frankie Montas last night. They did it to Hunter Greene tonight. They fouled up a lot of pitches. They extended their at-bats. Hunter, obviously, he struck out 8 batters in 4 innings. Obviously, he had some pretty good stuff. Wasn't able to land his curveball. Only was able to throw once for a strike. Splitter was only able to throw twice for a strike. In fact, he actually hit a batter with his curveball. So I think he's still working on those other pitches. You hope that as he develops those other pitches, he is able to limit his pitch count a little bit more. But, I mean, this was the kind of game where there was clearly not a lot of margin for error. You could see it when you were watching Logan Gilbert. He looked as good as any pitcher I've seen over the first couple innings of this game, and Hunter had to match him, and he was able to do that. I think Charlie Goldsmith tweeted out most strikeouts in Reds history through his first 50 starts. Just you have to remember he's the youngest pitcher on this staff, and he's still developing. It's good to see him have some success while he's still developing. But I have all the confidence in the world that he's going to get there.
I'm glad you have all the confidence in the world. I'm not suggesting that I'm out on Hunter Greene by any stretch of the imagination before I say what I'm going to say. I do think that there's this notion, though, that he's gonna certainly get better. I'm just waiting for him to progress, to start to show the signs that he's done something of some semblance that has made himself become a better pitcher. Because I think he's serviceable, certainly. But what he was at the end of last season to what he is now, it still seems like he's similar. You know, it still feels the same. And I guess as we move forward here in the rundown, I don't know what it is that he needs to do to stop the whole fouling balls off. And I see both sides of this. But, you know, I know many people think that obviously maybe from time to time I overreact and I do all these things, but I try to look at these games from a rational perspective and think, okay, what is it that should be concerning? I don't know how concerned I am from the standpoint that when you throw strikes, guys are fouling pitches off, how overly concerned I get. But I do wonder, what is it going to take for him to get out of this situation that is he finds himself in the 4th and 5th inning sometimes, hovering around that 100 pitch mark. And I'm not suggesting that it's all his fault or he's the one that, you know, that's to blame for this. It's almost like he's caught between 2 really tough spots right now. One is his stuff is too good from the standpoint that guys can't square him up and put the ball in play, but his stuff isn't consistently good enough to get guys to swing and miss more times than not. He has swing and miss stuff. That's where people like, I don't understand where people are like, well, he just doesn't have an out pitch, or he doesn't have a swing and miss pitch. Dude strikes out a lot of guys. I mean, dude strikes out a lot of guys. The only thing I would push back on in saying that is, like, I don't think he has the strikeout, or whatever term you want to come up with. I could care less. I'll call it swing and miss. I don't know if he has the swing and miss fastball and or the split that he doesn't really throw, but obviously the slider that he does. I don't think it's there consistent enough to kind of allow him to breeze through some games. What I mean by that is I don't know if he can locate his fastball in specific spots on command time and time again to where he could set hitters up. And I'm not suggesting that he can't do it from time to time. I'm just talking consistently. And if you can't set hitters up, if you can't hit the top, let's call it the top left-hand corner of the zone, and then follow that up with a slider that hits the bottom right-hand corner of the zone, well, it's why you get pitches fouled off time and time again. So Do I think he can get better at that? Yes. But I'm waiting for that. And I don't know if that's automatically going to come. Would a third pitch be great, Nick? Yeah, a third pitch would be great. Of course it would be. But I think, honestly, the 2 pitches he has are good enough if he consistently throws the ball where he's trying to throw it. And again, I'm not suggesting, just because, I guess my point is, Nick, if you don't walk guys, that doesn't mean that you had great command. And maybe I would say vice versa, to where if you get in a spot to where maybe you walk a few guys, it doesn't mean that your command's horrible. A lot of it depends on what you're able to do inside of a sequence to each and every hitter. And right now, I don't think that, unfortunately, Hunter Greene can consistently execute pitch sequences that gets guys out quickly.
Well, Hunter Greene has 2 pitches that he never threw before this year: the curveball and the split finger. He never thrown either one of those. Those are 2 brand new pitches. I mean, it's going to take time to develop those pitches to be able to command them. It feels like,
well, when's he going to throw it?
He threw him tonight.
What's his pitch? What's his ratio?
I was looking at something else.
You're fine.
Tonight he threw the fastball, 4-seam fastball 54 times. He threw the curveball 3 times. He threw the splitter 5 times, and the slider 36 times.
Yeah, so he threw eight pitches total of those 2 other pitches. And I'm not. Go ahead.
It was pretty clear he didn't have command on it. Like he hit a batter with his curveball. So like he's trying to work through those pitches. You have if you don't have it, you can't throw it though. If you're not feeling your curveball, you have to try to grind through 4 innings with your fastball and your slider like he did tonight.
I agree with that. The only pushback that I would say that people have a rightful complaint about is that you really don't have those pitches if you can't use them. Like, just because you say you can throw a splitter, or just put it this way, just because you said you added a splitter, and just because you say you added a curveball, if you can't rely on them when it means something, then you really don't have them. So
sure,
he's going to have to. And I get what you're saying. He's young. Like, this isn't like a pour on Hunter Greene. What I'm saying isn't a pour on Hunter Greene. I think people are looking for reasons as to why this continues to happen, and I think that I think it's a little unlucky in his sense that he's actually good enough to where guys can't put the ball in play on him, because his stuff's that good. But unfortunately, he's not gotten to that proverbial hump yet, to where he's able to kind of get guys out with different sequences and different pitches, because he relies on his fastball and relies on his slider. Simple as that.
Yeah, but he's only had 4 games with these new pitches, like 4 games that actually count so far.
And I think what would you say back to someone that would then, if you said that, like, what would you say back to, like, what are they doing all off season? And I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying, like, what
I'm sure they were doing everything they can to make sure those pitches were as good as they could be on opening day, but it's not going to just happen overnight. You don't start throwing a curveball and typically, oh man, first game out, boy, that curveball's, I can command it exactly how I want.
Well, I mean, I will say this: Fernando Cruz picked up a splitter, and it's his best pitch now.
Sure, but yeah, I mean, but Fernando Cruz also wasn't like, he also I don't know how long did he throw that in the minor leagues?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, at some point, we'll figure it out.
Minor league games. The one thing I would say to Hunter Greene, if you are looking for something that I can say that's concrete, that I think would maybe be the best thing for him to improve upon. It didn't really feel, Trace, to me at least, like he was getting behind in the count a lot, if just from watching it. But looking at the numbers, he did only throw 12 of the 19 batters that he faced a first pitch strike. So I think if he would maybe throw a first pitch strike, I don't know, maybe you get that up to 14 or 15. That might also help just get that pitch count down. But there also is probably some sort of a book out now where teams that are scouting Hunter Greene go, hey guys, just go out there and try to foul off that 4-seam fastball as many times as you can. You'll get him out after 4 innings. And that's also going to be something that now is kind of has Hunter, is working against Hunter right now. But look, overall, I think he's in a good spot. Like the fact that he was able to get through the 4 innings tonight was great.
That is true.
That he only gave up 1 run. The last start out, he got through 6 innings, throwing 105 pitches, and he gave up 6 earned runs and 2 home runs. So you have to kind of, this is better than that, in my opinion.
It is, yeah. He gave his team a chance to win. right? I think that's what you want your starter to do more times than not. And it got hairy a couple times. He was one swing away from it looking like a really bad start. But that's not how baseball works. It is what it is. Whatever happens actually happens. You can play hypotheticals all day. I have nothing against the concept that Hunter can get better. I'm just saying that at some point, I just wonder when that line in the sand will come, and I hope it's soon. Like I guess I'm fearful that the idea that you have all offseason to work on a third pitch, and that was something that you focused on, and we're talking, little to no reliability on that pitch that you've worked on all offseason. Then the concept of like, if you don't figure it out during the offseason, I have a hard time believing you're going to actually develop it during the regular season. I could be wrong. And then again, you go into a whole nother year next year. Probably everybody's saying, hey, it'd be nice if he developed a third pitch. We'll find out. But listen, it wasn't a bad start by Hunter Greene. Again, the Mariners scored 3 runs in 9 innings tonight. Pitching really wasn't a problem. It comes down to offense. Speaking of offense, maybe the thing that most people are going to want to talk about that has nothing to do with hitting per se, which is probably the real issue, is going to be Ellie's making the third out at third base. Jake Fraley not scoring. I know you had mentioned he wasn't hustling. I didn't really get a chance to see the full play there on Fraley, whether he was hustling or not hustling. Maybe Fraley just assumed that there wasn't going to be an out behind him, and that's a reasonable assumption. The more and more I think about this, I think Ellie's just, and you see this all the time with anybody that's super talented, really anywhere in life, right? If you come across somebody that's incredibly talented at something, I hate to say this, but I think for lack of a better term, I think higher level thinking or IQ, baseball IQ, probably would, and again, I'm not saying that he's got bad baseball IQ. I think Ellie's made some really big time plays throughout already his short career. But there needs to be a little more situational awareness. And I know that he's been aggressive. I know Julio Rodriguez made an incredible play. But you just have to know, Nick, that obviously you have the tying run. You are the tying run, and you're going to score from second base. Like, the only caveat, if I can defend Ellie, because I can play both sides of this coin right now, I want to defend Ellie too by saying this. If he does get to third base and they don't make a great play there, I don't remember the name of the guy that was actually throwing the ball for the Mariners, but he was wild. He was struggling with his command a little bit. A ball squeaks away, Ellie scores from third base, then all of a sudden he's a superhero because he took third base and then he got home. So, you can play this both sides of the aisle. The only thing is that you got to know 2 things in that situation. One, you got to be damn near 100% that you're going to get there. This isn't Triple-A anymore either. Julio Rodriguez is not, he never seen this, to be fair to him. He's never seen this in the minor leagues, guys throwing the ball like that more times than not. And then the last thing would be, I would have preferred him to kind of read the third baseman and probably take an inside angle to the bag. It kind of looked like he got hung out way out to the right, made it a little bit easier for them to tag him, but I don't know. Your overall thoughts on it? I know it has to do with Ellie, so you're going to probably shade on the air of caution.
I mean, there's a reason that play is all over social media right now as a great throw and not classified as a dumb base running play. It was an incredible throw by Julio Rodriguez. That ball gets past the third baseman, goes 5 feet, and Ellie scores. Everyone's talking about how incredible Ellie De La Cruz is right now. So I get the whole never make the third out at third base. But there's so many. Ellie's different than even a fast runner like Stuart Fairchild, or getting to the third base. You could get a balk. I mean, how a pitcher having to see Ellie De La Cruz at third base just creates so much havoc. I wish I would have saw a better replay on Fraley, because it definitely feel like he should have scored on that play, and that would have maybe made it, feel a little bit less, although probably in the end it wouldn't have mattered either way.
I'll tell you why I don't know that. Like, let's just play this out hypothetically, since we neither one of us are going to get a chance to see that play, probably more or less. I would love to know if there is like an all 22 type film of baseball. Like, I really would love to see
There is, but us peons don't have access.
That's right. Of course we don't. Yeah, we're not big enough yet. Maybe one day we'll get that. But my point is that Ellie was going from first to third. He got thrown out at third base, which is a shorter throw, right? You'd like to think Fraley's nowhere near as fast as Ellie. I'd venture to say like if it's very similar in the length of how far they ran, right? So it's hard to say like Fraley was definitely dogging it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I'm not 100% sure that he was dogging it, but I would venture to say that he wasn't, super loafing because Ellie got out at third in the very close and similar nature as where Fraley was to get home, and they both went 2 bases. Not perfect science, but that's my idea.
Yeah, and Jake Fraley's always hustling like in that last play in the 9th inning where he, so I don't want to jump to conclusion on Jake Fraley because I feel like he probably does deserve the benefit of the doubt. What I'm going to say though is if you are going to criticize Ellie for this and you're going to don't make the third out at that third base, when he does do that and is safe, I want to see everyone saying that was bad on Ellie even when he is safe, because there's it's one way or the other. So you can't say when it doesn't work, oh, that's bad. But when it works, I want to see everyone online, that was bad by Ellie. That was bad by Ellie. I want every single person in the chat, even when he is safe. And I'm gonna keep track of how many runs get scored throughout the year on those type of things.
You should do that. You should start.
That's my bubble gum card.
Yeah, you should do that. You know why? Because I don't know if you watch the game or not, but this is starting to get out of control a little bit. I mean, you might want to give a call down to the old servers down there at Great American Ballpark and start asking some questions. I'm just saying. I don't know how many times it's going to have to happen before somebody just raises their eyebrow and says, "Man, I don't know. This seems to not be working out for us." And not only is it not working out, it's not working out in some big ass situations. I felt really bad for Pagan. He thought he got a double play ball. He turned around and he dropped the biggest F-bomb in the history of Seattle. Rightfully so, by the way. Rightfully so. I couldn't imagine being a pitcher, Emilio Pagan, out there busting my tail trying to get a ground ball. You get a ground ball literally right to the shortstop, or where the shortstop should be, some would say. And it just they don't turn it. But that's here nor there. That's it all. That's all I have for Ellie. I'm not going to crush him, but I'm going to say this. There are certain situations in baseball games where you got to have a little bit of feel. I have no problem in the second inning of a game where you think it might be a high-scoring game, Nick. But I also think it's in a low-scoring situation. The chances of you getting there might be 50-50 or so. It's not worth the risk. But you know what I'm going to say? That's asking a lot out of a young kid. It is. That's asking a lot out of a young kid. But you're in the big leagues. At some point, you put your big boy pants on, and you're going to have to make big boy decisions. And if it doesn't work out, you're going to be catching some heat. But I like your bubblegum idea.
He's a tough guy to shut it on up and shut it on, right?
Yes, but that's a mental thing. Like I tend to agree with that. But I also think, and I know he wasn't doing this because I'm going to be a little bit of a prick right now in saying that I know for a fact Ellie wasn't doing this when I don't know. But I just think that Ellie's out there free flowing, having fun, and by all means, it works out 99% of the time. I don't think Ellie, before the pitch is going, is thinking, all right, if this ball gets hit into left center field gap, I'm the tying run. Julio Rodriguez is in center field. I'm not going to test that arm if it's in front of him. Those are situations that you're thinking through, and I don't know how many guys really do that in the big leagues, but when you're not a good player, when you're really slow, and you've had to scrap and claw your whole life to get to wherever you got into, those players actually do think through those things. I'd venture to say the Kevin Newmans of the world, although Kevin would never even attempt to go to third because he would barely get to second. But those are the types of things I'm talking about.
So to sum up this game, the Hunter Greene's ability to strike everyone out and Ellie De La Cruz's speed.
It's a disadvantage.
It's almost like it, and I'm not saying that like facetiously.
No, I think there's some truth in that. Ironic. Yeah, and I would even add in this. I think the throw that Ellie made caused controversy that otherwise would have never existed. I mean, and by the way, I meant this when I said this. I get why everybody oohs and ahs over Ellie, and that's more than fine. But Stuart Fairchild, and that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Nobody wants to give this kid credit. And he made an unbelievable play just because the Mariners broadcast decided they wanted to cut to the guy rounding third base, and you didn't really get a chance to see the play he made. He caught the ball on the run, spun, made a Hail Mary throw to Ellie, pretty much right on line, by the way. Ellie caught it off a bounce, I think, but still, and I'm not killing Ellie for this. I'm just saying, like, if Ellie would have caught it in the air, maybe it would have been a little bit easier of a play. I think it was crazy to think Mahle should have made that play. He was trying to swipe and tag at the same time, but I'm not even debating that tonight. I'm getting past that because I don't think it's that big of a deal. there's really, I would argue that out of that play 1,000 times, that play gets made 3 times. All 3 of those guys had to make unbelievable plays. I say out of 1,000 times, they do it 3 times total. That's how crazy of a play that would have been. And it didn't happen. Yeah. So it is what it is.
And Stewart playing center field in a really, really tough ballpark to play center field. Also, I'll be honest, I'm the biggest Stuart Fairchild fan. I thought he was going to for sure strike out in that at bat when he had that runner on third base. That's a brutal matchup for him against Logan Gilbert right on right and was able to put the ball in play. Craig actually sent this to me, and this is really going to I don't know if I even want you to watch this. The Bally did show another angle of Jake Fraley coming home.
All right, let's see it. You
don't need to see it. I can describe it to you.
No, I'm gonna.
Your boy Santiago Espinal is holding his hands up like you don't kind of like you come in easy.
Well, to be honest,
That's tough.
To be fair to Espinal, he's not on base. He's not on base enough to know. Espinal doesn't get it. He's not used to running the bases, which is fair. Espinal, just saying.
But but you absolutely, if you look at that, there's no way you can put any blame on Jake Fraley. Now, I don't think it's the worst. Like Espinal's, I guess maybe saying don't slide, but it's that's tough. That's tough.
And it's a unique situation. How many guys are trying to go first or third there anyways, and how many guys are fast enough to even give it an attempt? So I think all in all, it's just bad luck. That's not the fun thing to say, but I think that's truthfully what it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. We have the Game Time app. I know that many of you have heard me say this time and time again, so I'm going to say it one more time. The Game Time app, please go download it and get your tickets. Download and use the code Cincy, C-I-N-C-Y. Please use the code Cincy, C-I-N-C-Y, and that will help us out. It's a good app. You should give it a try if you haven't. All right. We have next on the rundown, Martini. We didn't want to lose sight of this. I think this is more of a kind of like just a little side note that we wanted to say. Martini had a hell of an at bat. Let's not let the fact that the whole LE kind of making the third out at third base overshadow, and obviously Fraley not scoring overshadow Martini's at bat. It was a very, very good at bat. So Nick Martini now has come in and had some good looking ABs, and for a guy that we had talked about, how much longer does this guy struggle before you start to question whether or not he should be in the lineup? I'll tell you this though, I don't want to ruin your Reds MILB, but got a guy down in Triple-A right now, and I'll tease that. But a guy down in Triple-A that's just mashing baseballs again. Kind of reminds me of CES last year. I don't know what we do. I don't know what you do. Got Jonathan India in the leadoff spot. People want to talk about that. I mean, I don't know, man. This is at some point you start asking the question, how good are we? I don't know if I'm there yet, but it's a long season. It's a long season. And I guess I'll just have that. Do you think tonight's bad luck? I'll open the floor. Do you think it was just bad luck? Like they win this game more times than not based off of metrics? But
I don't know if it was like necessarily like the worst luck I've ever seen in a baseball game by any means. There was several balls like CES hit a ball that they actually Bally did a really good breakdown of it, where they were doing like the temperature and the wind conditions, and any other time it's a home run. Steer also had 3 hard hit balls, absolutely crushed one that Julio Rodriguez made a really nice play on. That I'm still upset about that first pitch to Tyler Stevenson that they called a ball that just should have had a 1-0 count. That was tough. So I don't think this was the. I don't know. Logan Gilbert pitched really well. The Mariners also kind of made a lot of their luck because they didn't walk anyone outside of their relievers late in the game, but their starters the last 2 days. It's hard to feel unlucky when you never walk. That's kind of where I'd be at. So I don't know, a combination of a little bit of bad luck, but on Nick Martini, definitely deserves a lot of credit for that. I mean, that's a really, really good pitcher. And Andres Munoz, one of the better closers in the game that they used earlier in that spot. For him to come up and really get a pitch and hit it well into the outfield. He's a real weapon for this team. And I think he's kind of, shut up some of the always just an opening day, great game, kind of guy. I think he's definitely got a spot on this team.
Yeah, the one last thing I'm going to add about the bad luck stuff, I do think that there's times where you could use the hard hit ball reference as a very serious a conversation around it's just tough luck, hit balls right at guys. There's a whole nother concept in my mind of just guys hitting balls that would have been maybe a home run somewhere else or would have been a hit somewhere else based off of the ballpark dimensions. That's part of the game. Part of the game. You pitch to your park. I mean, and I'm not suggesting that Gilbert wanted to give up, 388-foot deep drives of the day, but I mean, ultimately they're outs. They're outs. Who gives a damn how hard they hit it if they're outs? I do think it's a good metric to kind of get an idea on whether or not you should overreact to somebody struggling or not struggling. But let's face it, like if it's a 3-1 count at Great American Ballpark with a runner on first base, you might be a little more apt to try to be a little more selective on where you're going to try to locate the pitch. Sometimes on 3-1 in a big ballpark, I don't know, you just take your chances. Let a guy hit a ball. And if he hits it out of the park, you give him his credit. You say, hell, it's a good swing. More times than not, though, the ball it doesn't go out at places like this.
And the Mariners, to their credit, they had much better at-bats the entire game than the Reds did. Just what they did against Hunter Greene. Right. They deserve a lot of credit for how many pitches they fouled off. They were a big part of that equation as to why his pitch count got jacked up so high. But one thing I will say is a positive. I talked about it before these games started, that the two pitchers that the Reds faced in George Kirby and Logan Gilbert, two of the top 4 pitchers in walk rate. So they don't walk anyone. It was good, though, to see Trace late in the game when the Reds got to even good quality relievers. We kind of saw more of that Reds baseball, that Reds offense that we really love. That grinding out the bats. That made me think, okay, that's more on Kirby and Gilbert, not really the Reds having, bad at bats. That's more of the Reds offense that I think we love and that I think can be a playoff team if they're able to do that more often than not throughout the year.
They grinded it out. I agree with that. They had some good at-bats towards the end of the game. One thing I don't want us to overlook here really quick, I'm going to do some super chats in just a moment, is the Reds dodged some bullets too. Let's not act like Justin Wilson didn't come into the game and save the Reds. I mean, he did. He kept them in the game. Bases loaded situation. Gets a strikeout and then gets an out to get out of it. And you know what? If there's a seeing eye single there's a bloop double. This game's completely different. We're talking about how the pitching was a problem as well as the hitting, and we're all down to the dumps. So I just don't think, again, not that I think that you're suggesting it, but I just think sometimes people look at expected batting average, they look at hard hit balls, and I think that's okay to look at maybe from a holistic view, like a very macro level. But when you're looking at it from a game-to-game perspective, like I think the Mariners, put it this way, I think they deserve to win. I thought they played better than the Reds. Simple as that. Speaking of the bullpen here, I'm going to do these super chats here real quick before we get into the bullpen. Got a bunch of them. You guys are the best, man. I mean, we're 1:07 a.m. Eastern time right now, and you guys are just ripping supers all night long. Adam House. Chi-Town Real Estate's changing his name. We got to have to get to the bottom of this. He said, I changed my YouTube channel name to Shake Things Up. Now the Reds are going to be now the Reds are going to go on a major run. All right, Adam. We'll see. Chi-Town, we're going to be changing that back if they don't. I can tell you right now. Who's Your Daddy said this is Who's Your Daddy's wife. All right. Just wanted to say thanks for the laugh the other day, and let's go Reds. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. You gave street cred to Who's Your Daddy, because before I seen those photos, I had Who's Your Daddy penciled as somebody completely different. Completely different. Almost, if we're being honest, somebody that would be on Dateline type stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know those types of people? The old people with the glasses.
Someone that was in their prime during the Big Red Machine.
That's right. That's exactly right. Michael Rolfe, as always, coming in, $20 for late night. When was the last time a play like Ellie throw out at third happened less than a second before Fraley crosses the plate? Crazy timing. Thanks for doing the show. So many missed chances, but that's baseball. And that's a good kind of compilation of exactly what happened. I think it was a little bit of tough draw there. You got a guy that's fast enough to be able to make that play, on top of the fact that you have a guy that unfortunately was being told to kind of take it easy. You're going to score, on top of the fact that he was a step and a half behind the tag out at third. Nikki Klinke. I got to start being careful with these names. I don't. Nikki Klinke. 14 walks in 2 games. Bad. Nikki was so pissed that they said bad. They had to use bad twice. 14 walks in 2 games, bad. Also, really missing McLean and Marte on days like today. Yeah, we're going to miss them all year. And we're missing TJ Friedl. We're missing guys. Like, it sucks. I don't have to say it. And that sucks.
And that's a good point from Nikki Klinke.
That's right.
As to why I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, the Reds had terrible luck. With walks, you make your own luck. And the Reds walked a lot of guys the last 2 days. The Mariners didn't. They deserve to win.
Zach Knopp donated $5 to do the joke, basically, that's been told 1,000 times. He said it's a deep drive by Castellanos. Kudos to him for that. All in Christ. Nights like tonight, All in Christ brings me back. You know? He brings me back.
OG?
Yeah, he's an OG. He centers me back up. He reminds me that there are more important things than Ellie De La Cruz making the third out of third base and Hunter Greene throwing 400 pitches in 4 innings. Not by a lot, but it definitely isn't the end of the world. All right. He says 2 straight games where the Mariners worked at bats that completely blew up our pitching. Brewers also seem to know a lot of game planning for arms. Yeah, they probably did. I mean, you got to give them credit. They pushed Hunter Greene to the limit, and they did a good job getting him out early. And they had Pagan on the ropes. They're a good team. It's almost like they won 90-something games, last year. India 0 for 4. Zach. Big Z with a $20 bomb said the Reds feel like they need a spark. I don't know where it comes from. Miss watching McLean play baseball. Love you guys. Another late gritty podcast. Thank you, Big Z. I don't know. Do you want to talk about India real fast? I know you have bullpen on there, but I think it's fair to say something about India. I don't really know what people want out of him. I know his batting average isn't good, but he's trying to find ways on base. Is he getting himself? Is this a fair question? Is he doing what Tyler Stevenson did maybe last year, where he's trying to be something that he's not?
He did have 2 hard hit balls today. 99 and 101. The one was hit straight into the dirt, though, so you kind of put that one with a grain of salt. He did hit one pretty well off Gilbert. The last 2 days, I mean, these are brutal matchups if you're a right-handed batter. Going up against Kirby and Gilbert. These are 2 of the. I don't know if the Reds will face tomorrow too. There's not going to be a stretch all year where the Reds face 3 straight right-handed pitchers in a row that are this good. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I really liked what Indy was doing earlier in the year when he's still getting on base a lot. I don't know. I put him on the yellow.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the. What other options are there? Like I don't. That's the part where I just kind of just say, you know what? I don't know. You look around. You ask yourself, do you have a better option? And I think the answer is no. I think that's a clear answer, right?
Yeah, and he's still getting on base. So if the other part of the conversation is, do you move him out of the leadoff spot?
Right.
I mean, as bad as he's been, he still has a .333 on base percentage. That's updated through tonight. So he's still getting on base. So
who do you move in the leadoff spot, anyways?
No, you could move Benson up, but then you're making your lineup not as balanced with your right left, which is very, very important for late in games, so you don't have your lineup get exposed. So I'm not too worried overall, but like you said, yeah, there's not really any other place to turn to at this time.
Can I say one thing that nobody can take offense to? We got some bad baseball players on this team. We do. We got a couple bad ones. I thought this was the year where we weren't going to have it, but we do. I don't know. The fact that Espinal's on this team is just, what happened? I mean, my lights are coming on and off. I mean, I don't even know what the hell's going on anymore. What are we doing here? Honestly, how's this happen? Started talking about Espinal and my lights going on and off. And I know why. I know why we have some bad players on this team. It's because the guys got hurt, and one guy was just basically just ripping up some roids, brother. Like, hey, here's a syringe. Go for it, man. See if that makes your hamstring feel better. Hopefully his hamstring feels better. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. I want to sometimes, some nights like this, just say, you know what, maybe we're just not a very good offensive team, because you know what? I'll say this. I know they're facing some really tough they're facing some really tough arms, but like, I just need to get talked off the ledge a little bit. But it's like, this is what they're going to face in the postseason. Like, this is kind of what you have to do in the postseason to win games. You're gonna have to find ways to crack the armor here. And to be fair, I knew this was coming. I seen it coming, and I just said one win. If they find a way to win tomorrow, I'm good. Boy, were we criticized for that one. People hated our guts. This team's good enough to win every series. You guys got you. Get your head out of your ass. You watched the White Sox play 3 games, and you guys thought you were the big bad wolves. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of my son when he goes out there and he plays with his 7-year-old brother, and he's out there playing basketball and he's dominating him, and he thinks, oh yeah, I'm going to the NBA. I'm like, oh, you are? Let's go downstairs. Let's go down to the city, brother, and let's go play some basketball. Let's see if you still think you're good. Because at some point you realize you're not. I'm starting to wonder if this offense isn't what we think it is. But I'm going to take a chill pill, and we're all going to relax, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be fine.
They weren't as good as they looked against the White Sox. They're not as bad as they looked the last 2 days against the Mariners. They're somewhere in the middle. Let's see how they look against the Angels for 3 games at Great American Ballpark this weekend.
That's fair. All right, that'll get me through the night. I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll feel better about myself. But boy, I need some offensive production tomorrow. I just need a little bit, you know? I don't want to hear about hard hit balls tomorrow, okay? I don't care if they hit 900 hard hit balls, which I know that means they probably got hits. But I'm just saying, I don't want to hear it. I'm done with it. I just wanted to temper it, and we'll move on to the next day. You know what? I'm a hard hit ball kind of guy. I like hard hit balls. But I'm done listening to it. I have to hear about how we can. Well, the Reds, they've got 20 hard hit balls tonight, and the Mariners only got 2. Oh, sweet. That's great. I'm glad that works out for us. All right, Reds MILB. There was something that good happened in Louisville. Tell them about it.
Yeah, something good did happen. Unfortunately, Tony Santillan gave up 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th as the Iowa Cubs walked off the bats. Louisville falls to 7-9 on the season. They lose 8-7. But Mike Ford, 3 for 5, hit 2 home runs. He's now got 5 already. Rhys Hines, he's really struggling. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. He's hitting 143 with a 548 OPS through the first 16 games. Connor Capel, he walked twice, stole a base. Ian Jabot, another tough outing for him on his rehab assignment. He gave up a run, walked 2. He's now allowed 5 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings during his rehab assignment with the Bats. He did not allow a run in either of his 2 appearances with the Dayton Dragons before that. Blake Dunn, again, did not play. He has not started a game since April 8th. April 10th. He's only pinch ran twice. Double-A, Chattanooga, they lost to Biloxi 3-1. Lookouts had their 3-game win streak snapped. They fall to 3-6 on the year. Not a whole lot going on this one. One positive, Andrew Moore. He was the reliever, part of the return for the Luis Castillo. I think he had 5 earned runs his last time out, but pitched pretty well today through 2 shutout innings. Austin Hendrick 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. And then down to Dayton, the Dayton Dragons, they made a lot of really good defensive plays in this one. I watched a little bit of the game, saw some of the highlights. Just a really fun team. They're in town all week, so if you are able, I would highly recommend you get up to a Dayton Dragons game this week. They beat Fort Wayne 4-1. They improved to 5-5 on the year. Cam Collier already has 3 home runs. Hit his 3rd home run tonight for the Dragons. Sal Stewart walked twice. Bryce Hubbard, this was the Reds' 2022 3rd-round pick. Pitched really well. 5 innings, just gave up 1 run, 3 hits, struck out 6. He's got an even 2 ERA through his first 2 starts with the Dayton Dragons. He reached the Dragons for the first time on opening day this season. And in Daytona, they won as well. They won 5-2 over Bradenton. Carlos Sanchez was 2 for 4. Ricardo Cabrera doubled, walked twice. Good night for him. Alfredo Duno 0 for 3 with the walk. Connor Burns, he had a grand slam in this one. He's got his second home run of the year. The only downside, Eastmith Pineda 0 for 4. He's the Reds' number 28 prospect, hitting just 121 with a 292 OPS through the Tortugas' first 10 games.
Where's he at? He's down in Daytona.
I got to be honest, I'd never heard of Eastmith Pineda until he showed up on the prospect list, so I've kind of been tracking him, and poor Eastmith has not got off to a good start.
I've been in Daytona once. They got a nice beach. They also have, if I remember right, on a baseball trip, they have a Hooters. And if I could give Eastmith any advice, it'd be to visit that Hooters and see if he can't find a way to get out of that slump he's got on. You know, that's just that's some big league advice to a minor leaguer, of course. All right, a couple quick super chats here before we end tonight, and we get to what's next. RD711 says extend Bell indefinitely, and then sign his children to take his place.
I gotta read this one.
I don't understand, man. RD, you're on Bell's case. I get it. I mean, listen, I do think that tonight, I don't know if you keep Hunter Greene in or not. He wanted to stay in. Does it make a difference? Does Hunter Greene have resentment? I don't know if it matters, to be honest. So I'm not going to get overly crazy about it. I don't think he made the play at third base. He did not, he wasn't the one that had a piss poor 84 exit velocity on the final at bat. That was Tyler Stevenson, not him. So I don't know. I do know this. You guys were in the chat screaming and yelling about how Tyler Stevenson was the one that got the at bat and it wasn't Martini. But let's be honest, that's hindsight thinking. Okay, that's hindsight thinking. Can we at least be rational here on the show? Kind of. I mean, I know I'm not rational, but let's be somewhat rational. Tyler Stevenson's a better option than Nick Martini with a lefty on lefty situation. I know after the fact it's easier said than done, but
Martini is at 9 for 50 in his big league career against left-handed pitching. That's a 180 batting average. So
yeah,
I would personally choose not to live and die with that. The one thing I would say about the Hunter Greene, pulling him early, I would almost think though, whether or not he could go another inning or not,
right?
Couldn't it be a good thing to pull him there because he wanted to stay in? And you say, all right, Hunter, you want to stay in next time, you need to keep your pitch count down for the pitch count crowd. I mean,
maybe, I don't know.
Like
boy, you are one hell of a spin zone kind of guy. I'll tell you what, Nick, did you go to school for this shit? How'd you do this? Where did you come up with this stuff? I mean, you come up with the most spin zony stuff I've ever seen. You just suggested that David Bell did a wonderful thing because he's going to motivate Hunter Greene to try to make sure his pitch counts down next time. Yeah, I'm sure next time he's out there, Nick. I'm sure next time he's out there, Nick, he's going to toe the rubber and he's like, you know what? I really don't want to come out in the fifth inning. I think I'm going to find a way to strike this son of a bitch out in 3 pitches instead of 17. No, I think Hunter Greene's going to toe the rubber and he's going to realize his split finger doesn't split, his curveball doesn't curve, and he's going to hope to pray to God that guys can't hit his fastball and his slider. That's what I think is going to happen. And we'll see what ultimately ends up happening. But that's here nor there. All right. A couple more quick super chats before we get to this up next. Guys, we've got to end this show. Zach Knopp. Yeah, he's got to end this podcast.
There needs to be some editing tonight. There needs to be some editing tonight.
Oh, yeah. Kirby's got some editing to do because I've done F this whole thing up. When Friedl comes back, he will take the leadoff spot. Question mark. Yes, Zach. Yes, he will.
Yes.
Yes, he will. Yep. That'll be that. We won't have to worry about it. Friedl comes back. Hopefully he comes back. He's the same player he was before, and we'll be feeling good. Big Z says, go to Trace Rant. I don't know which one I went on, but thank you for being nice to me. I think sometimes I'm just trying to be halfway entertaining. Sometimes I do get irritated. Sometimes the truth lies between the middle. All right, up next. Hate to break it to everybody, but there's another guy throwing, and he's right-handed, and he's not bad. So here we go again. I hate to say that.
Before we get to that, Cubs just got walked off by the Diamondbacks.
I really hate to hear that. Yeah,
they lead late. So
what happened to what's that guy's name? Craig Counsell. He doesn't have the back end of that Brewers bullpen anymore. He's about to find out.
Yeah, and hey, look, One positive is the Brewers and Pirates have both lost the last 2 nights, so they were looking like they were never going to lose again. So, all right, Wednesday 4:10 game. Don't get a whole lot of those. Reds going up against another really good right-handed pitcher, Bryce Miller, 1.96 ERA. He gave up 4 earned runs in his first start, but he's been really dominant over his last 2. Did not allow a earned run over his last 2 starts. 7 innings, no runs against the Milwaukee Brewers. 6 1/3, no earned runs against the Chicago Cubs. This guy was a top 100 prospect when he entered baseball in 2023. This guy only made 33 minor league starts before getting called up, and he's been really good. And he's another Mariners pitcher that doesn't walk batters. He had a 1.78 walks per 9 in his rookie season last year. Did make a start against the Reds last year on September 5th. Went 5 innings. Reds did get 7 hits off him. 1 run. He walked 1 and struck out 2. Reds actually won that game 7-6. Benson was 1 for 2. De La Cruz 1 for 3. CES 1 for 2. Fraley 1 for 1 with a double. And then Andrew Abbott for the Reds, coming off a really good start against the White Sox. 7 innings, just gave up 1 run, no walks, struck out 3. Abbott has never faced the Mariners. The only active batter to face him is Luis Urias, who's 0 for 1 with a walk, who will probably be in the lineup. He's usually a platoon player for the Seattle Mariners.
Well, the one thing I wanted to add here, for those that are wondering or maybe they're curious, the good news is that he's 24 years old. So but the bad news is he's going to be 25 in 50 days. So he's probably gonna figure it out. That's the thing, is like when you get to 24, somewhere around that time frame, you start figuring it all out. I'm kidding. I love you. I love you. I gotta poke you sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta poke the bear, you know? Seems fair.
Please God, let this poor bastard Miller go 4 innings and throw 120 pitches tomorrow.
I mean, but if that's the case, he'll probably figure it out when he's 26, to be fair. My guess. All right. Listen, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you guys. The other thing happened today too. We got a big deal that got signed today. That means a lot to us, and we'll be utilizing that over the this next year. So we'll obviously break them in relatively soon, and hopefully it's something that will be received well, and people will take the message that they're trying to portray out there, and have a long conversation with them. And I'm very thankful that they wanted to partner with us, and I'm hopeful that we can help provide what they're looking for as well, and I think we will. So shout out to that, and I just want to say that all of that's not possible without you guys, man. And I know we have fun in here. I know we yell at each other sometimes. We make fun of each other. There's a lot of OGs in this chat. There's a lot of people that obviously are very committed to this show right now, that are staying up this late to watch it. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you, man. And I know, like, there are times where maybe you think that I'm just being funny, but not that I want to get emotional on this show and things like that, but it's like I just never dreamed that we would get to this spot sometimes. I don't know. Me and Nick, we just wanted to talk Reds. I think we thought we might do an okay job. But our numbers this year are just ridiculously stupid. For us being only doing this for a year and a half at this point. Oh, not even a year and a half, really, just basically over a year. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And hopefully we'll continue to find ways to win baseball games. And if that happens, then I continue to hope to meet many of you that are in the chat. Continue to send nice messages, and I appreciate that. And even the mean ones are fun too. Like tonight was fun on Twitter. Or X, I guess, at this point. But it was fun. I like bantering with people and yelling, because you know what? I got a news for you. If you think Maley should have made that play, then you're just an idiot. And I think that you're an idiot. That's how I feel. But you know what? You probably think I'm an idiot because he's a big league catcher. I think if you give Jesus 10 tries to catch that ball, he does it 9. I'm just saying. I think Jesus drops it once. Don't think he would? I say that as a guy who loves Jesus Christ, by the way.
I think Jesus would be 10 for 10.
Damn, he probably would be. I was just trying to be
funny. But I'm optimistic, so.
It's a good point. Good point. You would have said Stevenson would have been 10 for 10. What's that saying? All right. in all seriousness, now's the time to hit the beat. I'm going to hit the outro. Nick has a podcast to edit. I screwed the whole thing up. He's probably going to be mad at me. He's going to be cussing under his breath at 2:30 in the morning when he's got to figure out a way to edit all the random stuff that I did. I apologize to everybody that watched this show tonight, that was listening in the car with their kids on YouTube and realized that Trey says some bad words towards the end of the show. But you know what? You can blame Espinal because he's a piece of work, of course. You know what? Espinal probably has a nice family, and I should be respectful of that. But I'm not going to. And I don't think you should either. So, these guys get paid a lot of money. A lot of money. And it's all because we want to complain about them. So, shout out to us. All right. It's been a crazy one. 1:30 a.m. Eastern. I got to be up. I do a show tomorrow morning. Can't wait to do it. Love you all. As always, go Reds. Go download the podcast. Listen to it tomorrow for Nick. He's going to be grinding. Go Reds.
Shout out Michael Roth.
Michael Roth. Michael Roth. Michael Roth. Michael Roth. Hold on. What?
The
Hold
chat's
on.
saying Michael Roth did a super chat, but I don't see it.
Hold on. I don't quit. I don't quit. Hold on.
You read the 20 for late night. When was the last?
Oh,
time?
Michael Roth. Michael Roth wants to talk about meat at 1:30 in the morning. What kind of meat you trying to talk about, Michael? Huh? What kind of meat are we talking? Talking about the Food Channel or another channel? Huh, Michael? He said, let's talk about meat. Does anyone have a smoker? I'm open to suggestions / side chats on a Reds loss night. Yeah, I will tell you right now. I'm looking at smokers as we speak. I think there's two. There's like a mountain, a mountaintop smoker, but the granddaddy of them all, a guy that wins Christmas light championships would only go for a Yoder, and it makes your life a lot easier. It's a pellet smoker. It's what you want. Based off your super chats, I think you can get a Yoder, and that's what you want, Michael.
I want to see pictures.
That's right. All right, Michael. Back to the end of the show. Love you all. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.